Well, hello and welcome back yet again to Divine Journey 2. Well, it's been quite a while, as it seems like it always is. And like I like I say just about every time, I hope it's a little faster the next few times. Let me try and catch you up to speed what's happened the last while. As you can see, this is a lot cleaner. I cleaned up a lot of the base, actually. The top two floors and maybe no, believe just the main two floors are completely free of torches except down here, which is nice. That's always something. We've changed up this just a tiny little bit. We integrated actually basically majority of applied energistics fluids. So this liquid XP tank is actually the buffer for a fluid export bus on the underside there. The bottles are still being input manually, but because the XP bottle are actually having really strong automatic IO, I can just put this here, and this really does everything I need for it. Really all I have to do to fully finish this is get an export bus for glass bottles, and that's doable as it currently stands, so I should probably just do that between cuts or whatever. Over here, I've been processing a lot of ores. I've added a couple machines, rewired a couple machines. I forget if this was here, but I got tired of doing each of those things by hand or with the immersive engineering press, so we got actual machines for them with the proper augments and the like, or however these work. That one's got the gear working down. I think this one is sawmill something or other. It doesn't matter. I barely use wires. We got some extra sag mills and alloy smelters. Basically everything is running octadic capacitors besides these two machines, and even then these should probably be upgraded. Oh, that's even not basic. Well, these 6 machines run octadic capacitors. We rewired a bit of mechanism down here. We made circuit production a lot more nice to look at. The enriching factory is pretty simple. It's effectively just kind of like that machine zone over there, but over here. We have the various alloys that I'm sure we'll need a lot of coming soon, so I'll probably increase these. Oh no, I already did increase these buffers. Good job, me. Yeah, this is on a lot better now. Just putting the materials up here and you get everything else down here. That's always good. Excuse me. We changed the pure setup a little bit, so now it just uses 1x2 drawers. These things have been phenomenal, by the way. Super handy. And then we have sand here to basically just manually craft it, because sometimes we want the powder or the dust, and sometimes we don't. But right now, in this circumstance, I believe we actually did want that Certus powder, but that we can get rid of. I'm just going to put that in the system. This is actually going to be the home site of our new operation, which will be beginning shortly. I will go into that in more detail once we get there, at the start of chapter 11. This got rewired up a little bit. I kind of was testing out how I feel about these. I believe this is Corp 15 and 16. One of these two is 15, the other is 16. Being kind of like visual indicators for pipes almost. I wasn't not super sure on it. Maybe I'll find more use of it later. Or maybe I'll like it with better color scheme, or not better, different color schemes, but I don't know. It felt, the green here felt a little weird, and I didn't really like it very much. This is unchanged because, I mean, this just works. It's just a little slow, if anything, but we're probably going to be upgrading it soon once we get to material stonework factories down here, which doesn't seem very far at all. I believe power is mostly the same. I forget if we upgraded these to the max coils and the reinforced upgrades. There was a couple things I was looking at for future upgrading of this, but that's a well ways down the line. You're able to save an unending bowl just by taking both sources of water from this one rather than one from over there and one from over here. I upgraded these to octadic capacitors, and as it stands, this rocket fuel setup looks like it's going to work for quite a long time, with the exception of redstone. which is steadily going down. This has been something I've kept my eye on, but, you know, 7,000 is nothing really to scoff at. Speaking of minerals, we have processed a lot of our ores. That process me box looked at me with its puppy dog eyes long enough for me to do something about it. So we have quite a lot of ore, actually, that I'm very excited about. We're a little short on, like, silver and lead, as short as 3,000 and 4,000 really is. This is ultimately, like, 2 full default drawers, so, you know, is that really such an issue? Otherwise, we have 11,000 nickel, 11,000 copper, tons of osmium, tons of gold, tons of tin, tons of iron, even our steel supply. I could probably start bolstering this up, but even then, this is two drawers of steel. What hasn't been super crazy is our mithril stuff. That kind of whole line leading up there with the Osgoglass, Osgolapis, Lunar Reactive, Demon Lord, blah blah blah. It's good. Like 8 stacks is still a lot of mithril, but we've kind of dug through it a little bit. So I've been putting Osgoglass back there, which is one of the reasons why I rewired Mechanism. Because I foresee that we will need probably thousands upon thousands in the coming future. So hopefully I can get like glowstone. Which actually I can probably passive that as it stands, just some export buses, but you know. There's just no reason for me not to. I've done a lot already, you know. Had some excavators running for quite a while now, obviously, right? Otherwise we probably wouldn't have nearly this much ore. This whole section's been cleaned up. Oil sand's been running for a while, so energized dark ingots shouldn't be a problem. I increased the buffers on all of these to 4 because I foresee we'll need a lot more mana dust for mithril in the coming soon. Applied energistics. I don't believe I changed too much down here. I moved the drives into these little cells, and I'll probably do more for there in the future at some point if we need that many drives. I did finish the second controller, and the cables look a lot nicer. You'll see that in the crawl space shortly. Downstairs hasn't changed too much. I did clean up this a lot, which has put just made me just a lot happier to be down here. The experience obelisk is now on a fluid storage bus. There was some string that was on the floor here, and actually there is still some here that you can see. I found that I didn't really need, found that I don't really need this, provided there's no one like in there for any blazes to theoretically shoot at. It hasn't been super duper long that I've had that going, but I feel like that will probably increase my rates by a lot, because I was noticing that they weren't spawning on the string. And the string was on everything except those straight lines coming out of the fans because they needed to. So I imagine our rates are up, but like we don't really need higher rates, honestly, because this has already been everything we've ever really wanted. Like, we have no shortage of mob drops even a little bit. We added, I don't believe we did anything here. We added a 4th layer down here that just takes us to the bedrock layer. This is where I was running excavators and stuff like that. As you can see, there's the oil sands one, as well as the Grains of Infinity setup. Forget if I showed that. I hope I did. That seems pretty important. And I believe that's the majority of things, besides the not full rewire or anything like that, but a lot of rewiring down here. I opened this area up quite a bit. I color-coded the cables, so the red ones are, I believe it's mainnet is the proper term for it. The red ones are basically P2P exits from the big cube, whereas the purple basically transfers the P2Ps. P2P purple net, basically, right? All the Ps. And then real net on red, sure. That's our RNP setup, you know. I set up the back of these coke oven furnaces to lead to a creosote barrel, or not barrel, a tank. So now our creosote is stored digitally. As you can see, our liquid XP is actually going up quite a lot. Would you believe it? These, even the 1K storage cells for fluids are colossal. 8,000 buckets per 1K, and that's, you know, the second cheapest thing is 32,000 buckets, and that feels a little excessive for, at least for our purposes as it stands. Yeah, I think that's about it. We changed up the poster, as you can see, but beyond that, I don't believe we changed too much. I changed this out to dark steel because it's like marginally faster. I built these up so it's a little less frame-y. Now it actually looks mostly completed. Yeah, the outside actually looks like it's supposed to be there. I probably will still be doing more to this over time. I kind of want to take that up another layer, or maybe two. But I'll figure it out, I'm sure, or deal with it as it comes. Set up a little chicken down there. I probably added some things to the farm. Maybe sugarcane, I think, wasn't there before, which is crazy because we need sugar. We still don't have a way to automatically get sugar, of course, but, you know, that's a problem for a normal person to have. But a lot of where we've kind of been, at least in the past, 5 minutes before I turned on the camera, was here with roots. As going back to our objective, the short-term goal here is plastic for industrial foregoing machines, because those will unlock all kinds of various good things for us. Plastic requires these HDPE sheets and pellets, which requires basically this whole line of a setup of mechanism machines that will get us to their plastic. This all starts with our electrolytic cores, however. Octadic capacitors are nothing we're really afraid of. Mithril we spent all of the last chapter getting to. Sentient Ender, similarly, none of this is particularly hard, but the soul vial requiring a witch inside is, but thankfully Roots has us covered with mob summoning. These enhanced machine parts aren't too terrible. The main thing here would be the melodic alloy, but we have been to the end, so we have this. The enhanced dye blend is a little bit of an issue, but it's nothing we can't do. Organic black dye, and truthfully, one of the more frustrating things is probably going to be the organic green dye, I believe, specifically. Because this can use cocoa beans, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. The organic green dye down here for the industrial dye blend. We don't really have a great source of cactus as it stands, and clippings and trimmings are not per se awful to come by, but not really pleasant as it stands. Cactus is far and away the best option, like, per capita, and I don't believe we can really do... I don't believe leaves can be sagged down. Like, grass works, and it is fine, but it's not really a sustainable way of doing it. And then redstone alloy is no problem. We've made a lot of this. So the Sentient Ender we're just about done with. Really, the only thing that limited me is the fact that I only have 3 soul vials. And the enhanced machine parts shouldn't be more than just a few crafting steps. Realistically speaking, what I'm probably going to do for now, at least until we get enough stuff for me to want to bother with a farming station from Ender.io, is just bone mealing a ton of grass and then shearing it up. So, we'll come back when I've got something more to show you on that front. And just like that, we're back with our HDPE setup. We've got a bit going on here. So starting mostly from the top, we have water running to this electrolytic separator, which separates into hydrogen, which goes into this PRC to make substrate out of biofuel, and oxygen, which goes into this rotary condensator. No, it doesn't actually. It goes into this at the end. We turn biofuel from this here crusher, which we fill up with potatoes. I'll set up a export bus here at some point. Turns biofuel with the hydrogen and just some more of this water, so stuff we already know, into substrate. Substrate we take to this PRC with our oxygen that we got from this one. It also gives a byproduct of ethylene, or ethylene maybe, which we rotary condensetrate into liquid ethylene, which we also pump into this, which makes our HDPE pellets, which should auto output to this enrichment chamber, which with every 3 pellets gives us 1 sheet. So that should be that. First off, I need to grab these, but also I need to grab, I believe, the substrate, yes. Yes. Okay, then we have our HDP pen. Oh, wow, we get a lot of upgrades. That's really nice, actually. We'll claim some class rewards in a second. But yeah, so now we get to take... Oh. Well, that's not that much of a problem. We're not unfamiliar with the vat. So it looks like we need to make nutrient distillation up next to turn these sheets into plastic. Yeah. So let's clear out this bookmark. Let's claim some crest rewards real quick, actually. I did a lot. Those pressurized fluid tanks, probably should have claimed those earlier. 2 enhanced machine chassis, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Some dark steel, won't complain. Atomic alloy, won't complain. Lunar reactive, won't complain. More dark steel, won't complain. Basic gas tank with, ooh, a healthy bit of ethylene in it. I will put that to use already, actually. Oh, and apparently we've completed that because we got enough of these enhanced machine chassis. Sure. This is a gas tank, so I want to actually set this here like that real quick. Which should dump into here, I think, right? Eject. Now should we? Yeah. Just dumping straight all of it into there. Awesome. Yeah, that should make us some HDPE over time. I'm going to actually throw a downgrade in that real quick. So it doesn't run too long. It sticks out a little bit more than I would like it to, but I guess I could move the whole thing one backwards, but I also kind of don't really want to. Maybe I'll do it at some point if it bothers me enough, but right now it's fine. It works. This was never going to be particularly clean, is the sad truth of the matter. HDPE is quite the tricky beast in order of or in terms of actually making it all automated, which we did. I mean, that is what we did, right? Yeah, I'm just getting a couple of facades here to patch this right up. Right down there, and right down there. There we go. I probably will take this whole thing back one, but yeah. I'll worry about that later once we have a supply of HDPE sheets. But next it seems like we actually need to do the vat, which nutrient distillation is... any of the various heads seem like a very good option, or zombie flesh, and probably sugar, just because it's something we already need to make. Yeah, I think that's probably the play is, maybe skeleton skulls and sugar. Question is, where am I putting that? Huh. Maybe I could put it still in this section. Maybe I'll rip this whole thing out and put the nutrient distillation here as well. So what else do we need HDPE sheets for? At least plastic blocks, some lights, nothing really that crazy, plastic, and glass lenses. I think we end up needing a lot of those, right? Seeing lenses and gateways are pretty important. Spectral relays are important. Yeah, we're going to need quite a number of these. So we probably do want a buffer. But handling the plastic production on site would not be a bad idea. Yeah, I think the unfortunate truth is I probably should have looked ahead a little bit further and thought about that before putting this all up. So I'm probably going to rip all this out, and you'll see what it looks like in a little bit. Alright, and we're back just in time to see the finishing touches put on the new setup. And that should be Why did I do that? I do need this as a buffer. You're just in time to see me fumble this, actually. Yeah, I think it's fine to move this up. Set this, set this here. Fluid transposer here. I actually want to redo a little bit of this cabling, but I'll worry about that in a moment. Input from the bottom, back, output to the right. And we're going to insert on the line channel. That should be that. Filling that up nicely. Let's lock this. Turn auto input on. And we have nutrient distillation, but more importantly, we should... Oh, wait, it's in my inventory. Where'd I get this? Throw an upgrade on that. And grab a drawer as well. Yeah, so most of it's pretty much the same. It's a couple things in a few different spots now. And hopefully it's not abysmal to look at. But, I mean, we're going to have to fix a little bit of it up. A little bit of it up, of course. We've got Applied Energistics hooked in already as well. So I think we're actually just about good here. So we begin with the water, which gets separated here into hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen goes here. Oxygen goes to this PRC through the bottom. That doesn't seem right. Hold on. You shouldn't be making oxygen, should you? Ooh, problems, problems, problems. Hold on a moment. No? Okay, no, this is fine. Right? Yeah. What's the bottleneck here? Found it. Yeah, that substrate, or that biofuel goes into this PRC, which goes into substrate, which comes into this PRC, which goes into HDPE pellets, which... Hold on. I guess only outputs at 3. This enrichment chamber outputs to here, which pulls up into here, which, oh my goodness gracious. Oh, it's because there's no power in it. Yeah, that's fine. I'll fix that. But yeah, there's our 4 plastic, and it is exactly like plastic. And we get another book to add to our collection. But we also have a lot of really good stuff that unlocks. Plant gatherers and sowers are phenomenal. Great tree farm, great everything farm, really. Very good to unlock both of those. The enhanced machine parts are not ideal, but are fine. Like, it is the whole thing, but we are at least getting 2 machine frames per machine frame now, right? Or 2 machines per frame. Which is good. We have access to better plastic, which is probably certainly worth doing, I would imagine. Potions, if we care about that. This is going to be important. We're going to make the sewer and composter. Spore Curator could be useful. It is a mushroom farm. We'll probably need mushrooms at some point, so we'll probably have to look at that. The mob slaughter factory is going to be very important, because that's going to make our pink slime. And we can't do the stonework factory until we get that pink slime. We also have this whole... It's quantum flux path to go down. I don't really know what we get from this. I'm seeing that requires brighten up, which requires pink slime. Yeah, I don't know entirely what that is. But before too long, Crystalline Brown Slime is in our near future, which is better crafters, power cells, stuff like that. You know me, I've been constantly yammering about these power cells, but I'm not super certain if I'm actually going to use them. But we'll figure that out in a moment. I think our first course of action should ultimately be probably the better plastic creation. Assuming we have a good block placer, right? Do we have a... No. Yes. Okay, yeah, we can do this then. Yeah, so I think our next task is going to be better plastic creation, because this is, like, fine. I mean, if it works, right? Well, actually, do we need better plastic creation? Not really. It'll be a lot faster. But... maybe we'll work about that in the future. Because I think our production is fine. I don't think we need boatloads of plastic. Yeah, so in that circumstance... Oh, this is actually going to be very handy. I think a lava fabricator is something we definitely need to look at. But we might also just wait for... I think for the lava fabricator, we'll wait until we get the stonework factory. So I think our next task is the slaughter factory and the composting for our pink slime and fertilizer. So let's get started on that. Oh, and don't worry, for all of you screaming at your monitors, this is fixed now because this wasn't going to work otherwise. This does not auto output. It needs to have its output actually withdrawn. This for some reason just wasn't doing anything. I believe one or two of these machines didn't have power. Yeah, everything's working fine here. But for the most part, I mean, the one or two little quirks here and there, we'll call it. Otherwise, seems to be pretty smooth sailing. It's a bit noisy over there. How's our power drain looking, actually? We don't care. Wow, that's really something, actually. I suppose one thing that I also did that might count to anything was I did a lot of inventory and management and such like that. We have our building bag, which holds all of our building stuff. You've probably seen me poke my nose in there a few times. This is the just kind of general cable and machinery. As you can see, we've got a billion cables, a billion machinery, and a couple ways of, if we really need to. I've got these LV capacitors that I didn't really know what else to do with, so they're there if we never need a kickstart or whatever. But yeah, I think that's the most of it. Yeah, I'm probably going to take a quick little look through if Quantum Flux offers us anything of importance, and I'll come back after that. Our next goal is pink slime. To get pink slime, we need to have a mob farm that's being adequately harvested of its proverbial mob crop by a mob slaughter factory, which, per harvested mob, gives some amount of liquid meat and pink slime. However, for this we need a mob farm, which is best made with a drop of evil to make cursed earth, a block that very frequently spawns mobs on top of it. We use it for our other mob farm. The issue here specifically is that we need necrotic bones, which are either a rare drop from wither skeletons or made using bones and wither ash. Wither ash can be made with withering souls, which are guaranteed drops from withers. So I figured rather than just trying to farm wither skeletons, we'd use our high beheading amount cleaver and fight some withers. Unfortunately, it seems my world is rather hostile to having good wither fighting environments. What you've been watching behind my voice are the withers fought. First we tried underground, but he exploded around one of the many flooded caves around the bedrock of my base, leading to the very fascinating water polo and hide-and-seek match. Those water caves have been the strong issue why it's been so annoying to find good excavator veins, for example. So I figured the next best giant underground cave to fight him in would be Autumn, but unfortunately again, it seems to be a perpetual sandstorm as of late. making seeing any more than a few dozen blocks ahead of me, if that, is just about impossible. This whole process has made me strongly consider a reinforced obsidian and thus witherproof box for the near future. But we are ultimately done, so that's good. Alright, so as you probably just saw, we have the sewer, composter, and slaughter factory ready to go. However, as it stands, I'm not ready to set up the slaughter factory yet, so I'm just going to set up the sewer real quick. Currently, I want to get a mob masher for the slaughter... So the slaughter factory will give us pink slime, and we need to kill pink slimes with that fluid, or that spawn from that fluid, rather. So I want to set up a thing over here with a max looting mob masher. So I'm going to come back to that shortly. But in the meantime, something I'm going to do kind of just over time is I'm going to set up this animal sewer. I'm going to hook this up to the power line down here. Just kind of following this along. And the purpose of this is, as the quest book says, we need to get this sewage for fertilizer, because that will be used for these brown ingots here. So it's like kind of what we're doing. Well, I mean, it is what we're doing. It's just one of the two paths of what we're doing. So I'll come back to you with a setup, because wiring while talking is hard. Alright, so here's the kind of general gist of the setup. I realized actually when going to wire it up that we don't really have a power connection coming down here. Our power connection that goes physically the lowest is actually only in the crawl space up at the main area. So we're using, and I know you can all boo and hiss, another temporary battery. So I've got a few soul vials of cows here that should be suitable for sewage, I think. I didn't actually check. I'm just kind of hoping this works. I mean, it's not terrible. It's going. What was it? The 2 buckets? Was it? Is there a recipes button in here, or do I just have to figure it out? Two buckets of sewage. So we're probably going to want more cows, but that's not going to really be a problem. Maybe we'll throw some upgrades in the, or like speed upgrades in here if need really be, but I don't think that's the main, I think the main thing is we just want more cows. I think more cows should make more sewage. Here's our first piece of fertilizer, check that out. I think we actually, oh no, we do only need the one. So we can put that in there, lock it up with the key, and we should just kind of get this coming in naturally for a fairly minimal power cost. But, cool. Oh, 3 more for the quest. Alright, 1/2 done. We got some gold gears for that quest, and a free drum for this quest, which we probably won't use right now. But next to see you back is probably going to be, probably this pink slime quest, ideally. I don't believe I really need this, because this is just for... Actually, let's read this. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything we really need here, but they do have yet another song parody, which is something to, I would say, appreciate. Alright, and with some less than stellar cabling, unfortunately, we have the slaughter factory. We've got a fluid import bus, which should take it straight into our ME system. The question is, does it work? Oh, seems to work quite well. So currently, I believe there is nowhere for any of these things to go in the system, which is totally fine. This is planned because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to have it so we only really have one fluid cell per type of thing. Ooh, that's not what I wanted to have happen. How am I going to work this out? So we can partition it to like that. I would like for this one to just hold meat. I probably should have... I just like rip this out actually. I think I need an export bus. That's probably actually the easiest way to do this, is just grab an export. No. I know the far and away easiest way to do this actually is we'll get a tank. We'll get a tank. We'll get a reservoir. And we'll just... No, so that's already off, so that's actually fine. So we'll throw that back in there for a moment. We'll head back up here. Grab one of our reservoirs. Grab this here pink slime. Oh, we don't even need the tank, actually. Right now we can partition that for liquid meat. And these drives should hold, I think it's like 8,000 buckets per, so they should be fine in terms of storage. Okay, partition. So partition for just liquid meat. Good. And this one goes in. And then we will throw this in real quick. And then we'll be able to partition that as well. Great. So now all of these are specific. We've got the creosote drive, a biodiesel drive, and now we have the liquid meat and pink slime drives. So if I head back down here, and if I just flick this lever again, oh, even without flicking the lever, this thing should just go kind of crazy, honestly. It's also running off of this battery because, you know, still the same issue of no power down here. But it does seem to be working quite well. I gotta say, for what it's worth, obviously we're gonna pretty up that room a little bit, probably between episodes and the like. But looks like we're doing pretty good already. We already have half a bucket of pink slime. So I'll probably come back when we've got more to talk about in that regard. And so we went and threw some more cows in the sewage area. So it looks like we've got just enough to get us a pink slime to start with. So we should just be able to place it, and then for too long a little guy should just pop out. Eventually, I'm pretty sure it just does this, right? Dig a 1x1 area. After about a minute, it'll transform into a pink slime. Maybe it needs to be specifically 1x1 area. So I guess I'm just gonna stand here for a minute. Ah, there we are. 1. And hopefully a second before too long. Hello? Hello? Oh my goodness, it's taking forever. Well, whatever, I'll worry about that later. So the main thing we need now is mithril and just kind of automated production of pink slime. I have an idea with a fluid formation plane and that mob masher. The problem is I need another mob masher, which means I need all the Ecometeris. I might be able to do something with like looting spikes, but I'm not certain if I really want to do that, or do I even really need that? Like, it's gonna be passive. If it's passive, that should be good enough. Wow, that felt terrible. I mean, if it's passive, maybe it's good enough. I suppose I could just try spikes right now. If nonetheless, I need to use spikes to make the mob masher, right? So I suppose I'll just make spikes to start with. Alright, so here's the setup, hopefully. So we should be able to just put pink slime, the fluid, into this here formation plane, and hopefully it does stuff. I'll be honest, I'm not really certain how this is gonna work out. This is the formation plane. Should be able to just place it, right? Am I crazy? Right? Might be a little crazy. Let me do some research. Being some really bad news. Regardless of why the formation plane isn't working, this isn't working, at least with our current hopper setup, which sucks, frankly. I don't know why this isn't pulling through. Like, that goes through, and that goes through, but this slime ball at the tip of this spike can't, which is really annoying. Oh man, this is just not looking good for us today. Well, not looking good for me. And it's really throwing a wrench in my plans, because really banking on the formation plane, and also that vacuum hoppers would be good enough, because I don't really want to use an absorption hopper. A lot of the other options for things to use here are a bit too big. Like, an absorption hopper, I don't really want that big of a radius, right? Like, I don't need a 7x7x7. If anything, I would prefer a smaller version, like a 3x3x3. But also, we just aren't placing this, and I don't understand why. Hello, it's me from the future. We did figure this out, actually, so, you know, if you are writing a comment, I appreciate it, but there's no need. For everybody else who, like me, thought the formation plane was effectively just a in-world export bus, you are wrong. It is an in-world storage bus. So we had to basically turn this from exporting into the system, or I guess importing into the system, to this kind of being our tank, which I don't know how I feel about that in the short term, but it works. I mean, I guess it's only ever going to go as fast as this, so it's fine. I'm not sure if this stops completely if this is full, but also we don't really need it if it's full, but we kind of do because we did upgrade to the meat feeder to get donuts off our hot bar. Yeah, it works, but it's a little... I'm concerned about the ramifications for the future, but if nothing else, in the future, we can just kind of slap a tank down here or something, right? We just throw something here and then have just two export or import buses. Really, it works, but again, yeah. We also did change the drawer colors. I guess this is a spoiler for for next time, right? We turned all the drawers into looking uniform and a bit more vibrant. They look really nice in some other parts of the base. But yeah, now the issue is they float. But not for that long, so it's fine. Well, I mean, as it stands, we do still have a healthy amount of our pink slime. We're getting it pretty well, and we can do it manually for the short future, but definitely in the long term, I want to see what's up with that. Maybe I'll get some assistance via the comment section or something like that. But in the meantime, while I can't look at those, I think I'm going to just do a teensy bit of standard progression through the quest book while we've got this here pink slime, which is our pink slime ingots with mithril, and then we're going to make crystalline brown slime, which, if I'm lucky, will just immediately give us power cells so that I don't have to use that battery down there anymore. Let's find out. Without too much hassle, here's the last of our first batch of pink slime ingots. Bouncy bouncy. And 12 plastic is going to be pretty nice. And 4 crystalline brown, which requires grains of piezoality or pulsating crystals. Ooh, that's a little expensive for each one of those, I'll be honest. That's 8 pulsating iron per, right? I guess they do give me all the pulsating iron back, but that's a little pricey, I'll be honest. I will probably make a number of these off camera, I'll be honest. You will probably come back and I'll be like, check out this cobbleworks I made. I usually don't find too much to talk about in that regards. But I suppose first let's make ourselves these pulsating crystals. If nothing else, then just 8 to start with. We'll sag mill these down. Nope, that's still doing that. Yeah, well, while I'm waiting for that to figure itself out, that's unfortunately where we're at, is just digging holes in the floor. But, yeah, so be it. So these crystalline pink slime, what are these good for? Co-processing units. Well, that's not particularly useful as it stands. Crystalline alloy. We just can't do. What was that? Was that a thunderbolt? More than likely. Alright. See, is there anything else these are used for? Crystalline brown slime. Oh, we get 2 brown slime though. That's actually really nice. Looks like that's kind of the main of it. And Virtus way down the line. So, you know, that could be worse, right? At least we're getting 2 per. And these ingots made of pooper. I'll take that half a stack right now. So the Mega Torch is a great option, I'll be honest. 64 block cube and won't prevent mob spawns from Curse Earth. Very tempted to just grab a couple of those, I'll be honest. But that's another something I'll think about. These new machine frames, let's see if I can actually make a couple real quick. We actually can. We are able to make exactly 1 of these. So I'll take some more of these. Let's just claim both those crest rewards. Power cells. So we need several power cells. So as much as I would like to just do this right now, we can't just make a power cell. So we probably want. I mean, I guess we could just go straight to the advanced one, right? Stores 4 million power. This is 1 million. Infusing bonus. I don't think we can infuse at this moment. Oh, scary. But yeah, I think the main thing actually holding me back here is... No. If I'm not mistaken, it was the industrial dye blend. Or not. I don't know. I'll see what the bottleneck is, and I'll probably have several of these crafted for next time around. I think that's probably where I'm going to call it for today. We overall made some good progress here through Chapter 11, and we did unlock some good things. Between episodes, I'll probably be doing some of the more handy things. Dread lamps, maybe? What are this? This is also just a mega torch, I think. Oh, passive animals. Oh, interesting. Don't think I want that, though. Upgraded crafters is going to be really awesome. That will probably let us fully automate mana dust over here, which will be pretty good, I think. I gotta actually think on that, probably logistically speaking, and then we'll see where that takes us. And then whatever this quantum flux is, right? Quantum flux. We'll probably be doing this next time primarily, of this dark stone or whatever. Oh wait, do we actually just... Oh my gosh, we can actually just start this if we really wanted to. Ooh. Oof. Hold on. No, I just checked. Elevadium is gated by some quantum flux stuff, so we'll have to figure that out next time. But, ooh man, we're getting really close to jetpacks and flight. Oh man, I love flight. I love flying. I mean, imagine that, right? But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I hope I am more consistent about this. I feel like, as I always say, if you enjoyed your time here, you know, maybe you could show your support by displaying that you liked the video and that you subscribe to, I would say my ideals, but I mean, you don't know that. Me doing what I'm doing here. Yeah. Well, check out this cool fish. Look at how long he's been hanging out. Hasn't he been great? I hope you guys have liked him as much as I have this video.